Live. Hey, what's going on, world? It's your man Kevin Yeshua here, checking in live from the team 317 of the SORH movement. Millionaire-minded family. Hope all is well with everybody out there in the world this evening, man. I'm back again, as promised. 5th week in a row. We staying on point here, baby. We're gonna push forward, man. It's the 5th edition to Mindset Mondays at Midnight, man. I salute my people that's been with me since the very first edition, man. Hey, Juanita, how you doing, lady? I salute all my folks that's been with me since the very first edition, man. It's been amazing, man. I'm humbled by you all joining me, man. I feel real good to be able to, share some knowledge with you all, things that I'm soaking up. Excuse me. Some things that I'm soaking up, you know what I mean, and being able to just share it with you all, man. I feel real good about doing that, man. So with tonight, we're going to do it a little bit different since I've been rolling for so long. I'm going to go ahead and try to add a tremendous amount of value tonight, man. So you definitely might want to hit the share button, man. Tell somebody, call a friend, even call the dog in the room. The dog might even pick up some of what I'm about to put down, man, or might need to hear it, man. If you're watching this broadcast, drop in the comment section where you're watching from, man. City and state, man. Let the people know, engage with your fellow viewers, man. Let everybody know where you logging on from, man. For those of you that know me, I'm real big on financial literacy and generational wealth. When I'm not spending time talking financial literacy and generational wealth, I'm definitely spending time talking mindset. That's what this segment is. That's what it's been for the past 4 weeks. This is the 5th week in a row. I like to spend a lot of time on mindset. I firmly believe that you have to pour into your mind before you can never pour into your pockets. And a lot of folks do not get that part right. Hey, Mariana. A lot of folks are real consumed with just chasing after the money, and they ain't even got their mind right to even know how to get the money and keep the money and to make more of the money, get further faster with less effort. I'm learning some really amazing principles and strategies, from some of my mentors and some of the individuals that I have been blessed and fortunate to attract into my life. And I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Like I said, I'm real big on financial literacy and generational wealth. So I'm thinking more so of 2 generations ahead. I'm thinking like the wealthy instead, the poor thinking like 2 Saturdays ahead. And for those that get kind of touchy, poor is simply passing over opportunities repeatedly. I'm going to say that again. Poor is simply passing over opportunities repeatedly. So, if you feel like I'm stepping on your toes, and anytime when I say that, I gladly step on your toes with some cotton boots. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but we definitely got to pull the curtain back and be real with ourselves, man, if we want to do more, you know what I mean? So that's just a quick tidbit on that, man. But tonight I'm going to go ahead and jump into this information, man. Oh, yeah, by the way, shout out to my people that's following me, man. And I'm on this 22-day fast. I made it through another day. This was day 4. I literally did not eat the entire day. I had some crackers, water, a little bit of orange juice, and a multivitamin. It's 4th day in a row. If you follow me, you'll know why I'm doing that. Okay, so let me stay on point here, man. So tonight, man, I got a lot of information that I want to drop to you all, man. I'm super excited about it. So I figured I could just touch on a few different things, man. Some different books that I'm reading right now. So it may seem like I'm kind of bouncing around, but I promise you I'm going to tie it all together and let you know how it kind of correlates when I try to tie financial literacy together with mindset. So, all right, let's jump straight into it, folks. So this one book I'm reading currently right now is called The Tipping Point. Excuse me. It's by Malcolm Gladwell. And in this book, there's a segment where he talks about the neocortex and some studies that was done by a British anthropologist, by the name of Robin Dunbar. Okay. Now, Robin Dunbar had began this observation because he was, thinking about what they are referring to now as your social channel capacity. And what he was starting to think from his observation that he was doing is that, one's neocortex, they could have started to evolve and get bigger, coming from more thinking. and expanding as far as thinking and doing other things and dealing with other individuals. So, I give you the great example where he put it out there for us. Like he said, the neocortex could have grown, because of more sophisticated eating habits. So, instead of eating just grass and leaves, they started eating berries and fruit. Now I'm going to tie something into that for you by one of my great mentors, man. He's got this thing that he always says, and how I kind of make it make sense for you is he talks about when I said what I just said about the neocortex and it growing, coming from eating, eating instead of just grass and fruit, they started to eat. Instead of just grass and leaves, they started to eat berries and fruit. So just think of how that kind of made your mind expand. Hey, Anya, how you doing, Queen? Hey, Miss Jessie, get with me. We need to talk. So just think about how your mind will start to expand, just from changing your eating habits. So one of my great mentors, he has this line where he says, if you've got trash root, then you'll have trash fruit. Well, for those of you that know, your mind can be considered the root or, the foundation of what you're going to get in this world as far as what you poured into your mind. If you don't know much, you probably won't get much out of this world. I'll say that again. If you don't know much, if you don't learn a specialized knowledge or skill set, you probably won't get much more than what you currently have right now. And back in the book, we're in the tipping point where Gladwell, he goes to say that, humans socialize in the largest groups, so there's this magic number of 150, where he used an equation, to come up with this number of 150. And this equation basically says that, we can genuinely have the capacity to know and socialize with about 150 people that we will really know with and know their problems in life, and they will be able to, we can relate to them and they can relate to each other. We can relate to each other, and be able to help each other and kind of grow. You may know more than 150 people, but you may not have genuine relationships with 150 people. So then, he goes on to say, where, in that instance where you may know that amount of people, how many people are of that number do you know that are actually affecting your life? So then I will pose a question to you all right now, to my folks that I still got here, to everybody that ain't already swiped off the broadcast. And like I always say, peace be unto you in your endeavors. But I will pose a question to you right now. Of the 150 people that you may know, how many of them are adding value to your life in some form or another? I'm going to ask that question again. I'm always open for engagement and feedback, whether you want to drop it right here in the comment section or hit me in the inbox. I'm always open for the dialogue, man. So I'm going to ask that question again. Of the 150 people that you know, or whatever the amount of number of people you think it is that you know, how many of them are really adding value to your life? So then there's this notion by one of the great authors and motivational speakers and people that do personal growth and self-development that I follow. His name is Jim Rohn. He had an analogy. He says you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. So then that's when I take you, and I'm always saying to you to stay out that rabbit hole, because the folks that are around you, if they don't want more for their situation and they're content with what they got right now, you may be the average of them 5 people that you hang around the most. So if they're always complaining, I see you, Anya, 2, maybe 3. So if they're always complaining, or they don't have much, or they don't want more for their life, they're content with what they got and what they got going on right now, you may want to reassess your circle. You may want to change your circle or change your circle. No new friends. Not the song by Drake. I said no new friends. You never know with that person that you may meet or that person that you met and what kind of relationship could turn out to how they can help you take your life to the next level, or you could do that for them, and then and the blessings, you pour out more blessings to get blessings. So that was a portion from the tipping point for you all, man. I'm gonna make this all tie together, man. Just stick with me. If you're watching right now, man, and you're picking up what I'm putting down, definitely let me get some hearts and some shares, man. Let me know I got you here with me, man. I appreciate it, man. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you checking this out, even if you're on the replay. Okay, so the next portion I'm going to go into for you all is a book called The Secret Science. It's by an author named John Baines. I've had this book for about 12 years now. I've read it about 4 or 5 times. I had put it away for a few years. Came back to it, and then I just pulled it back out this past year, and I've read it a few times since then. But in this book, The Secret Science by John Baines, there's a portion where he's talking about the mind and going to the next level as far as dealing with people. And so he says, "Oh wow, Anye, what's going on?" There's a portion where John Baines, he talks about an aphorism that, was recalled by Jesus. And this is for my people that know the Bible. I'm not a very religious person. I do believe in God. I believe in a higher power. But there's a portion where he recalls something that was said by Jesus in the Bible. And it says you must, in order, if you give, then you shall receive. Okay, so John Baines goes on to say, one who wishes to receive must start by giving, in business as well as in social relationships. One who is more concerned with, making money instead of serving, then they probably won't go very far in any endeavor that they're doing. If you don't have somebody else's best interest at heart, then you probably won't be able to help that relationship cultivate with them. If you give friendship, you will receive friendship. If you are able to understand, you will be understood. That's like the old walk, talk, and chew gum. So he goes on to say that, people who complain bitterly of loneliness, lack of friendship, and being misunderstood, these are the type of people that don't think that it's not okay to request other people to understand what they're trying to convey to the world when you're giving off a negative energy, when you're giving off a negative vibe. That's why they say misery loves company. Because they think it's cool to tell you about their problems all the time. We've been so programmed, for so long and conditioned that this person right here is probably, environment is stronger than willpower, folks. If you're around somebody all the time telling you something negative, or they're always talking negative, and your life becomes negative, then you're going to feel like it's okay to transmit that negative energy, to other folks. Me personally, it's all positive over here. Right now, I can tell you, I feel like a giant. I ate good. I didn't eat all day. For those of you that know me, that's following me with my fast, I had just ate probably about an hour ago. I had been working and forgot that the sun went down and I didn't even eat. And I was working so much, like I was in the zone, I didn't even think about eating. Jess, how we doing, Queen? I see you, millionaire. So that reminds me of one of the other folks that I follow, man. This guy named E.T., man. They call him a hip hop preacher, man. He's an amazing guy. He's got an amazing story as well. He went from homelessness to, he's like one of the top motivational speakers right now, up there in the conversation with Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn, and E.T. goes on to mention, he remember a time where he was reading an article about Beyonce, and she said she was going so hard at one point, that she was doing shows and she didn't eat for like 2 days. So if you want more, you have to become more. Basically, it's how I'm about to make all this tie together with mindset, and how if you don't shift your mindset, you can never shift your income. That's why most lottery winners go broke again. Okay, so with that being said, I would love if I could get a share, some hearts and some likes in the comment section or something, man. You know, definitely, man, I appreciate you all for being here with me, man. Like I said, this is week number 5, man, and I don't plan on stopping no time soon, man. We really about to go in, man. Shout out to all my people, man, Team 317, man. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me the whole time, man. I'm here for it, man. So, okay, so now I'm going to give you all a portion of what Mr. Jim Rohn, one of his videos I was watching, and he was talking about the title of this video was How to Solve Money Problems. Okay, and Mr. Jim Rohn goes on to say, you know, that when he started making a lot of money in the industry that he was working in, he said he was disturbed by the fact that, he was disturbed by the fact that when he started making more in 1 month than his parents did in a year, he was disturbed by that fact. So disturbed to the extent that, you know, he wouldn't even tell them at times. Can you imagine making that kind of money? Can you fathom making that kind of money? You know, and then he goes on and he ties in some of the mindset, because that's what it's all about. Where I'm never here to tell you that I think money is everything, but in this video, Jim Rohn hit on some really heavy things. He was dropping some gems, and it all correlates with everything that I'm learning right now. That, you know, for folks that just think, we've been programmed to think that it's bad to have a lot of money. In the Bible, it says, God says he wants us to be wealthy. So why we pass judgment on the people that found a way to get it? You know, we got a lot of work to do, man. We got to wake up, man. We really got to wake up, man. I be reading so much, man, in the stats and stuff, man. Some of the stuff will start to amaze you all, man, especially when I'm talking about our people, like me and you. You know, so then that takes me back and makes me think, you know, when I heard that, what Jim Rohn said about how he was disturbed about making more money than his parents did in 1 month than they did in an entire year, that made me think of, you know, a few of my mentors and, you know, how their family looked at them when they started taking off and how their family would even look at them now. Like, those would be things that I'm going through and I'm going to go through, because I'm going to get mine. I pray that folks come along with me, because that's all we trying to do. Who you think they making these big houses for? I just said this the other night. I said this yesterday on one of my lives. I'm dropping two every day for the whole month. You know, I just said this. Who you think they making these big old houses for, and these nice cars and these yachts, and like, even if it ain't even about materialistic things, I don't ever want y'all to get that twisted. But who are they making this for? Why are these people? Some people can have it, but we can't. There are 42 people in the world that control most of the money. Out of everybody in the world, 42 people. You know, there's only like one black billionaire that was born after the 1970s. I just don't get it, man, how some folks stay content, you know, like we can't live better, man. We can't live better. You know, one of my mentors, this man, Mr. Rico McDaniel, he was a millionaire by the age of 25. Another one of my mentors, Mr. Ivy Stokes, this man is worth over $600 million, man. And not to even throw the bigger numbers at you like that, but I could bring you back down to earth where something may be a bit more relatable to you. One of my partners out in Atlanta, shout out to Mr. Jamal Flo, No Rich Movement Message, salute. This man ain't worked a job in over 3 years. From some of the principles and strategies that we're learning, that I'm being taught, that I'm trying to teach to other people, that I'm teaching to my son who will be 6 in less than 2 weeks, that my 2 nephews know, that my niece know. And a lot of this stuff, Mr. Morris, sir, I see you. How we doing? Salute. You know, and a lot of this stuff is stuff that I didn't even know less than a year ago, over a year ago. And it's not my fault. I wasn't taught it. And it's not my parents' fault. It's not your parents' fault that they didn't teach us. They didn't know it to teach it to us. Stay out that rabbit hole. There's no growth in that rabbit hole. I'm going to keep saying it. You know, so for my folks that's just now jumping on, man, you definitely might want to go back and catch the replay, man, because I dropped some gems in the beginning, man. But we going to go ahead and press forward, man. I salute to you all for joining us, man. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here right now with me, man. So this next portion that I'm going to get to you all is from, I'm going to take you back to the tipping point real quick. And where he speaks about Malcolm Gladwell, where he speaks about this book that came out in the early 90s. Okay. The author of this book, her name was Rebecca Wells. Okay. For those of you that read or that was reading back in the 90s, you may know the name of this book. It's called The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. I've never read the book personally. Somebody may, know what it is. But in this book, I've never read it, so I just, took a brief overview of it. But what was more captivating to me, what kind of compelled me to talk to you all about it, was the story of how Rebecca Wells did it. And, what happened with her, with the process, with her sticking with it, with her having the discipline and the faith and everything, that she didn't just give up. That'd be the problem with people. A lot of times in anything, most relevant is in some business endeavors, but within anything, the reason most people fail is probably two reasons. One, they either listening to the wrong person, and two, they not listening to the right person. May sound like the same thing, but you take that back to the round table and chop it up and break it down and see what you come up with. Stop listening to that person that does not have what you want, that's never had some of the things that you see yourself having in your dream. Stop listening to that person. So I give you the scenario real quick on the tipping point and what Rebecca Wells did with this. Okay, so the book dropped. She published it in 1996. She had a reading where she scheduled an event. You do your new book events. You go out and do signings and you host events and things like that. She had a reading where only 7 people showed up. 7 people were in her audience. That'll kind of crush your spirit, especially if you ain't built for certain things. 7 people showed up to this reading, okay? So by the end of the year, or roughly when they thought it was about to be over for the book, she has sold roughly about 15,000 copies, hard copies. Hey, Delnika, how you doing, lady? She has sold about 15,000 copies, respectively, 15,000 copies, hard copies, okay? A year later, she dropped it in paperback. The first edition sold 18,000 copies. Okay, by the summer, she had sold 30,000 copies. A month later, she had did some strategic marketing, switched some things up their game plan, moved some numbers around. The number doubled. She had sold 60,000 copies in less than 6 months. A year later, when in that first year, she had only sold 15,000 copies. Respectively. This is in 96. Okay, so by the time 98 hits, she's going around, she's doing readings and everything. She's going in the show, doing shows and everything. And by 1998, she had 48 different printings of this paperback edition of The Divine Secrets of this Yaya Sisterhood, and had sold 2.5 million copies. In just merely 3 years, when in the first year, she had only sold 15,000 copies. Most folks would have wrote her off. They would have said, your little book, you ain't doing nothing with your little book. Or how they are, you got your little business. You gonna quit in 6 months. If you want more, you gotta become more. You gotta learn to stick and stay. You got to have fortitude. You got to have discipline, man. You can't just, every time something happens, you kind of run from the sight of it when you're trying something new. Just stop listening to people that don't have the things you aspire to have, man. I'm going to say that. I got one last portion I want to do for you all. And this one, I'm going to kind of tie it all together for you. Okay, so I'm going to give you all something now from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad Guide to Investing. What the rich invest in that the poor and middle class do not. Okay, this portion here says by Robert Kiyosaki, and I quote, this is where I'm going to tie the mindset together for you all to the correlation of why you need to shift your mindset to acquire generational wealth, okay? You might want to hit the share button right here. From Robert Kiyosaki, and I quote, lessons in hindsight. I am often asked, how much is too much? Or how much is enough? The person who asks that question is often someone who has never built a successful business that made a lot of money. I have also noticed that many of people who ask that question are on the E and S side of the cash flow quadrant. For those of you that know what the cash flow quadrant is. Another big difference between people on the left side of the cash flow quadrant and people who operate on the right side is the people on the left side generally only have one financial statement because they only have one source of income. Those on the right side of the cash flow quadrant have multiple financial statements and multiple sources of income. So let me bring it all full circle for you all. So we started off talking about the neocortex, and your social channel capacity. And as far as how many people you are able to network with, and expanding. So I would tie that together. For me, in my mind, it would make sense to whereas if you're the type of person that doesn't want to know a lot of people or doesn't want to try new things, or you've been praying for a blessing or asking God for a blessing and things keep being put in front of you and you don't act on it, or you act on something but then you don't stick with it, you don't see it through for longevity. These are the type of people that they may be content with what they got in their life. Hey, India, how you doing, lady? These are the people that may just be content with what they have in their life currently. If you want to slide safely into your tombstone, I'm not going to get in your way. But I digress. But I'm heart attack serious. If you want to slide safely into your tombstone, I'm not going to get in your way. I said it again on my live the other day. 2 days ago, maybe Saturday. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. Stay out that rabbit hole, man. I'm not trying to turn the lake into gold. I'm looking for the gold in the lake. When you see people posting on social media and they talking about they working or they going to hit this clock or they do, like, I never knock a job. I never tell you to leave your job. Use your job to fund your dreams. But I can tell you, I firmly believe ain't no job gonna pay you what you feel like you worth. Your hourly pay rate or your salary is the estimate of what your boss or that owner of the company feels like you are worth. How you gonna let somebody else put a dollar amount on what you worth? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Thank you, India. Good to see you too, lady. So I'm heart attack serious, folks. For my people that I got here with me, I salute you for still being here. If you're just now tuning in, check out the replay. But I'm heart attack serious. How are you gonna let somebody else put a price tag on what you're worth? You would be content with going to work for somebody else for the next 20 years of your life to put their kids through college. But if you ain't got some good financial principles and strategies, you won't even be able to put your kids through college. This don't even make sense, family. We got to do better. That's why I'm so adamant about what I'm doing. And in this connection economy, we can't lose. How am I able to talk to you right now? You miles away from me, but you picking up what I'm putting down right now. For the folks that's here and listening, y'all must feel me in some kind of way. For the person that already swiped off the broadcast, peace be unto you, like I always say in your endeavors, but you might be that one to crawl back up in that rabbit hole. But for me personally, I know my kids deserve more. I know Kevin Jr. deserves more. I know Baby Cats deserve more. My two nephews and my niece, they deserve more. They deserve more to have than what I ever had. I didn't have no daddy. I'm an 80s baby, so my folks from the 80s know what that's like. See, when I get on here and talk to y'all, I ain't never trying to play like I know it all or like I'm this well financially well off for everything. I pull the curtain back. You feel me? But we got to do better. That's why I'm teaching them what's the difference between cash flow and income. What's the formula for getting wealthy that the rich use? You know, what an asset is, what a liability is, what the 4 types of credit are, what the 4 challenges that everyone in America faces right now. That's why I'm teaching my kids and my nieces and nephews that stuff. Because right now, a lot of people out here playing crazy. Y'all still chasing these cars and rims and want the red bottoms and the Louis Gucci purse or Chanel Michael Kors. Nah, I ain't saying you can't have things, but nice things, but nah. Your kids got $1 million in their investment account yet? I heard one of my mentors say that last week. Your kids got $1 million in their investment account yet? You out here playing crazy and popping bottles every other weekend. How you at the club popping bottles? Your credit score 420. How your Louis Vuitton or whatever shoes cost $420, but your credit score 420? Yes, Lord, Anya. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I'm here for it, lady. I'm telling you, I'm really trying to pull the curtain back. I'm ready. I'm taking off. I'm in the process right now. That's why I'm trying to reach as many people as I consistently can. And I ain't trying to get nobody per se to come on board with what I'm doing. Although I firmly believe in the services and products that I provide. I'm a product of both products. But I'm just imploring people to do something better than just work a job for the next 20 years. Greatness breaks out of its city, man. I'm gonna say that again. Greatness breaks out of its city. You don't just, you gonna know more. There's 7 billion people in the world and counting. You gonna know more than just your little neighborhood from here to there. You better get you a passport and put some stamps on that thing. What else can you do with this life besides teach your kids something and see something, have some experiences you never had? I'll tell you one thing. Listen to this and hear me real clear. You will never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. Ever. You will never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. So all that stuff, you working hard to get all this stuff, you can't take none of it with you. We gotta do better, man. And I'm here for it. So like I said, man, with that being said, man, I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate everybody that made it on tonight, man. If you're watching the replay, salute to you for watching the replay, man. Much love from a loved one. I want you all to know that this means a lot that I even got y'all attention to be able to share this stuff with y'all. I'm learning all this to share it with y'all. I had this Facebook page for 10 years roughly, back when my little cousin died when I was 18. I never used it just to this past year. And I use it solely to each one, teach one. I'm not on social media holding money to my ear. Like, what does that even mean? I'm not on social media posting pictures of my car. You see me, I'm posting pictures of my kids, and I'm trying to ask somebody, how can I help them today? But everybody's thinking scam. Everybody's still confused about money and poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. But If you want more, you got to become more. I'll tell y'all one more thing before I get up out of here, because I know I held y'all a little longer, but I wanted to do an extended edition on purpose tonight, man, because I was excited for this being the 5th week and everybody's, you know, staying focused and locked in with me, man. But I posed this question a little while back from one of my mentors. This man's worth over $600 million, and I know him personally. This man says, you know, if you want to become wealthy, and this is a question I'm posing to you all, so I would love some feedback. If you could drop it right here in the comment section or hit me in the inbox, you know, with the answer if you feel like you know the answer. He says, if you want to become wealthy, you must do what wealthy people You fill in that blank for me. That's where the answer goes right there when I hit you with that silence. If you want to become wealthy, you must do what wealthy people I'm here for it, man. Let me know what you got on that, man. I love to hear it. Because whatever, well, I know the answer. And I'm in the process of doing what he said the answer to that was. If this man's worth that much money, and I've physically seen, you know, the lives he's impacting and the people he helping all over the country, I'm gonna listen to him. I'm not listening to this person over here that ain't never had what I'm trying to get. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and log off, man. I know some of y'all gotta hit that clock in the morning, man. Like I always say, do something today, right now, today, that your future you will be proud of. I'm gonna say it again. Do something today that your future you will be proud of. Be like water. Stay out that rabbit hole. There's no growth in that rabbit hole. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, man. I'll see y'all in a bit.